change of plans. But before we get into that, let me state the obvious. I'm back home. So once again, same as last week, went to the hospital, didn't know what to expect. Probably expected to spend a couple of days there. Turns out they let me go by the end of the day. And in fact, the plan was the exact same that they came up with last week. So let me reiterate that before explaining why I'm saying the plan changed. So after the video that I filmed yesterday in the hospital, I spoke to the doctors once again. They came back, they confirmed, yes, the strategy is exactly what we discussed before. So we still believe this is due to withdrawal. So we're going to re-increase the dose to 1.5 milligrams per day. You're going to stay on that for 2 weeks. Your doctor, your oncologist is coming back next week, so you can discuss everything with him and together kind of as a group. Also speak to your neurologist whenever you can. And together we can kind of come up with a strategy to lower that. But for the time being, the only thing we can do, because we can't run any conclusive test to determine exactly what is causing this is pretty much our only strategy. So we're re-increasing to 1.5 milligrams per day. Go home, and let's hope that everything will work this time and you won't be back here again next week. So that was pretty much the initial plan. And then they just mentioned, oh yeah, by the way, you'll be discharged in a couple of hours. Before then, however, someone from the palliative care unit will come and speak with you, given your symptoms and everything, where they're basically experts in helping people, not just with cancer, but people, especially with cancer, who are dealing with symptoms related to treatments or medication they were taking. And they're the best pretty much at helping you deal with those symptoms. So we're going to send someone from the team over. They're going to discuss things with you and present whatever they think is the best option. So wait a couple hours. A doctor from palliative care shows up, asks me a couple questions, and then presents a completely new plan and strategy, which is why at the beginning of the video I said, new plan. So the new plan is very short-lived, unless it works, of course. But at this point, kind of hard to keep my hopes up, but we'll see. I have no expectations. So what he suggests is, instead of increasing the dose now, since there is a chance that it could not work, and as you know, because of immunotherapy, we want to avoid as much as possible raising the dose because it could end up interfering, and we don't want to pause immunotherapy because that's pretty much the only thing fighting the cancer in your body. So as a result of that, what I suggest is we're going to give you a new medication for nausea, to combat nausea and vomiting and all those types of things. It's been, much more effective than the other types you've been prescribed so far. Given your situation, it's possible that it could completely get rid of the symptoms, and that way you can stay at the same level you currently are for the Decadron, so 0.5 milligrams per day. That won't interfere with the immunotherapy. And since we're dealing with the symptoms caused by the withdrawal of the Decadron, then it doesn't matter. You don't have to re-increase the dose. So we're going to give that a try for a couple days. So the way it works, it's a medication. I take it every 4 hours while I'm awake. And also he gave me a much more powerful laxative just to make sure that everything goes through my system and there's no issues. Because we want to avoid being constipated. We want to avoid, basically we want to make sure that my digestive system is working optimally. That way the food that I'm able to consume goes through my system quickly enough that it doesn't come back up. And because of the anti-nausea, anti-vomiting medication he prescribed, that should keep me from throwing up. So that's kind of what we're trying at the moment. Went to the hospital pharmacy after I was discharged yesterday, picked everything I needed up, and just started this morning. And then on Monday, the palliative care doctor is going to call me to see how things are going. And then at that point, depending on the situation, whether it's actually working, then we're going to keep doing that, stay at the same level of Decadron for now, discuss everything with my oncologist when I see him next week, and then kind of go from there. And then if it doesn't work, well, we'll discuss everything on Monday, but I'm assuming that if it doesn't work, then we're just going to switch over to the option presented to me by the oncologist at the ER, which is increase the level once again to 1.5 milligrams and hope that fixes the issue. So we have two plans at the moment. One of them is temporary, but if it works, is definitely the best option. And then we kind of have a backup plan, which once again is not guaranteed to work, but it's the best that we can do given the situation. So as you can tell, I mean, the thing is, like, it's always like this. I don't know if it's just cancer or disease in general, or that's how medicine works, but it just seems to me like we're just guessing and randomly trying things and hoping that it works. And it's like, yeah, okay, they've helped other patients with these types of things before, so they kind of use that knowledge to try to give the best option, but it just seems like it's all kind of somewhat random guesses. And I get like the doctors are doing the best they can. They're always trying to help, and I'm very grateful for everything they do. Don't get me wrong. But it's just, yeah, there isn't that sense of, certainty of like, oh, they're experts. They're the best at what they do. A lot of people have that perception of doctors, not to say bullshit, but it's just when you go through something really intense, you realize how limited the medical system actually is. And how most of it is just, let's try some things, see if it works. If not, we'll try something else. And, eventually something should hopefully work. Or a combination of things, or, it's not as cut and dry as most people imagine it to be. So yeah, you learn a lot going through this type of journey. So that's the new plan. And we have that other backup plan, and if ever it doesn't work, I'm hoping it works because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Today, obviously, since they gave me a higher dose while I was at the hospital yesterday, I'm feeling better. In fact, I'm going to take advantage of that to go to the pharmacy to fill up some prescriptions that are running low because I don't know what will happen in the next couple of days. And if things revert back to the way they were, I don't want to have to deal with, oh crap, I need to walk like 2 kilometers to go to the pharmacy to refill my prescription for a medication that I could have refilled like 2 days ago when I felt good. So I'm like, I want to take care of this now, even though the last thing I want to do is go outside. I just want to relax. But it's life. So speaking of which, yesterday, after I was discharged, went to the pharmacy, grabbed medication, and then pretty much the entire ride home, I felt like I was going to throw up. To the point where I literally took the bag in which the medication came in, emptied it into my backpack, and kept the bag ready in case I needed to throw up into it. Luckily, I didn't need to. I made it all the way home, spent a good 5 minutes crouching by the toilet expecting to throw up, coming super close to throwing up, but not actually throwing up. Then I'm like, all right, I'll try, having it come out the other way. Maybe that'll work. But because in the increased dose they gave me at the hospital, was constipated, so obviously nothing came out. But, I ended up feeling better, ended up not throwing up, so that's a good thing. And ended up having a very long, I want to say restful night, but I don't know if that's accurate because, yes, I slept a long time and I did not wake up that many times. Yes, it was still probably at least half a dozen times, and I did get up to go to the bathroom at least 3-4 times. But I still feel very tired today. So I don't know if I slept too much. I don't know if it's just because, I haven't had enough sleep or enough consistent sleep for multiple months at this point. So my body just needs to keep catching up. So even though I had a good night's sleep, I still feel tired. I don't know which one it is, but at least, I do feel better today. And I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty good day, kind of like last week when I came back from the hospital. The day after was the best day I had in well over a month. So I'm assuming today might be similar to that. Fingers crossed, hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely going to enjoy it as much as I can because I've experienced this often enough at this point to know that you never know what's going to happen. So whenever things are going even slightly remotely well, you need to enjoy the crap out of it because it could be a very long time before that happens again. Or maybe not. Maybe everything's going to work out perfectly and I'm going to keep feeling better and better and better and everything's going to be awesome. That's also a possibility. but I don't want to run the risk of not enjoying it as much as I can and regretting it as a result. So yeah, it's pretty much been the update, so I should probably go now because I need to go pick up the medication, and the longer I wait, the hotter it is, and at the moment, given my breathing issues and coughing and everything, hot is definitely not good. So I'm gonna end the video here, get my medication, try to enjoy the day, and hopefully give you some good news tomorrow. Fingers crossed on that point. So talk to you tomorrow.